Get ready, Top Fuel Nitro motorcycle fans, because in this video we are going to give you a tour of one of the most unique and innovative machines out there. This is Jay Upton's Australia-based nitro methane burning motorcycle. There are so many crazy features on this bike. Jay was one of the first to ever try the parachute. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about his one-of-a-kind, aerodynamic, sleek, eye-catching, unmistakable one-piece body. Look, you can see that thing coming from a mile away. Well, all of these components are for good reason. Jay is certainly a thinking man, so come with us on a journey as we check out
Upton's
Jay.
bike is so unique, especially this one-piece body here with American Top Fuel motorcycle racer, the one and only Mitch Braun. Mitch, what can you say about Jay's bike? This is one of a kind.
You know, I was very fortunate to meet Jay almost 20 years ago when he had this bike in the States at Sam Wills. He came to a PMRA race in Oklahoma City, did some testing. We went to Memphis with it. And of course, I was just blown away of the innovation at that time. You know, in the United States, we kind of do a lot of cookie cutter stuff in all of our racing, you know, drag racing, NASCAR racing. Jay's bike, obviously Chris's bike, you know, with the one-of-a-kind engine, a lot like the European bikes where everything's just so unique, one-off. Jay does all that stuff. It's awesome.
What do you think about this one-piece body? Is it something you'd ever be interested in running?
The first time I saw it 20 years ago, I thought, what the heck is that? But I'm telling you, to be tucked in that thing at speed is probably a lot nicer feeling. You can see the leg cutouts in the body for Jay, so that's got to be a lot more comfortable feeling going 230, 40, 50 miles an hour.
Is it something you'd like to try?
I don't know. I'd be nervous. Plus, Jay wouldn't let me ride it anyway. So.
Well, it is truly a unique bike, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And how about Jay being one of the first guys to tout the parachute? And now we know the parachute is vital.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine riding a bike without it. I really feel the same way about the carbon brake now. You know, I mean, once you ride a bike with a parachute, you're nervous about what's going to happen, but then it's just so smooth and it's so much more better under control. The same thing with the carbon brake. You know, that thing is just so much better that I can't imagine racing without it now.
Jay Upton bringing a lot of innovation in.
Great view of Jay's cylinder head there and how unique the lid is.
What kind of head is this?
Oh, it's his. You know, he builds the whole engine, does the whole thing, but it's a 3-valve head.
Let's take a look, because I know you know a thing or two about heads, Mr. Monster.
I don't know. We might get in trouble if Jay sees us looking at it. But, you know, obviously, look, he's got the bronze skulls, 3-valve motor. You know, Ian King also runs a 3-valve. There's some guys actually here in Australia talking to me about building a 4-valve head. Look how compact Jay's motor is. As much stuff he has on that bike, it's still very close center bore, like a Hayabusa more than a GS.
What's the advantage of a 3-valve over a 4-valve, if there is one?
A lot of different opinions. You know, one thing I know is spring pressure is a thing, obviously. The size of the valve is a thing. You know, the great George Bryce used to always talk about the size of a valve in relation to opening an umbrella into a headwind. So if you have a big giant valve like a Pro Stock bike has, and you're trying to open that big giant umbrella into the wind versus opening 2 smaller valves into that pressure, it's not as much of a load. Sure. The other thing about 4-valve or 2 valves over 1 is once you open that valve 100 thousandths of an inch, you can imagine you have all this surface area. So like on the Monster head, we have 2 36 millimeter intake valves. That's 72 millimeters of area compared to, like, let's say a 50 millimeter intake valve on a 2-valve head. So when these open 100 thousandths, you've got like 1.5 to 1 3/4 time more open air for that to move in and out quicker than a single valve.
Gotta love it, man. That's what you gotta love about Top Fuel. A lot of difference in opinion.
Yeah, and I love seeing this stuff, you know, that they all do such a different original thing.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, on CycleDrag.com, we like bringing you the world's fastest motorcycles. Here's another one from down under, and it belongs to the veteran, Mr. Jay Upton. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Jack?
Where are you from?
I'm from Perth. Well, I live in Perth, Western Australia, originally out of UK. But
how old are you?
I'm old. Officially, I'm past 60, so I'm old.
That's hey, if you ride a Top Fuel motorcycle, you're not old. You're a veteran. How many years you been in the sport?
I won my first championship 41 years ago.
There you go.
In the UK.
You're the man for still doing this. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here with your bike. It's so unique.
It is kind of different. You when we started this project, we built 2 or 3 motorcycles that are like this one, but it's a direct drive motorcycle. It has a pneumatic clutch, ain't no levers in it. It has a pressure control fuel system, so it's completely different than anything anybody else ever has run, really, and all this time.
Sure. Look at all these custom components, so different. Let's give you a look here. And that's what I love about this class, is there's so much ingenuity and creativeness at play. There's not many cookie cutter bikes when you talk about Top Fuel, huh?
Not really. There's starting to be a few now, but you know, it's really the last bastion of individuality in drag racing, particularly in Top Fuel racing.
I think the biggest thing that sets your bike apart is, let me take a look at this right here, this wild body. I know that fans will probably recognize seeing this body in pictures. What's the story with the one-piece body and why you think others don't run it?
I guess it's about the pioneers getting shot by Indians, and it's true.
Explain that one.
We have crashed more than once, you know, for the sake of development of the body.
Okay.
It was always going to be a brave concept. It was about safety when we started it, not about aerodynamics, really. I mean, we felt we should have downforce, but it was more about safety. It was right after Elmer had died, and I was trying to fix that. So that's why I built it with the leg indents that you see on the body. If you look at the body, it has leg indents.
Yes.
Which I can grip with my, you know, the whole lower half of my body fits exactly in that. So I can hold on pretty good. And actually at this racetrack, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 years ago, I had an incident where I lost a hand off the handlebar at the finish line. And I had both hands over my head like this, and I went all the way down the braking area and off the end and never back. Got us in the body. So that kind of says that we could fix what happened down.
Let's give you a close look at this body. It certainly is one of a kind. I had the opportunity to sit on it. It is such a unique position.
One feature I really want to point out on Jay Upton's bike is this parachute right here. Are you getting ready to repack?
I'm about to repack.
Excellent. So this parachute, here's a quick story. I think it was about 15 years ago, Jay Upton started running a parachute, much like the Top Fuel cars that you hear screaming down the track right now. And I remember so many people said, you can't run a parachute on a motorcycle. You can't, it's never gonna work. Well, not only did Jay Upton prove that it works, we're seeing parachutes on all the fast motorcycles right now. Jay, I think it's safe to say your philosophy was the right one when it comes to the parachute, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got to tell you, we turned up at the racetrack with a parachute and they looked at it and they said, oh, we don't know if that's legal. Maybe you can't have that. And I said to them, what are you guys, crazy? The rules are, if you go 130 miles an hour with a car, you have to have a parachute. If you have four-wheel brakes, you can go 140 miles an hour before you have to have a parachute. If you go 200 miles an hour in Australia, you have to have 2 parachutes. Right? And we can go 230 miles an hour, 1,200 pounds with nothing? What are you thinking?
Oh, I remember when it came out, bike guys were so skeptical and reluctant. They thought that it was going to rip the rider off the bike. They thought it was going to cause crashes. But you knew from day one, this is the way to go.
Well, we had an advantage in that. Sam Will's a good friend of mine. And he and, remember his first name, Bill Stroud, had done the original testing. And they were out at an airfield in Oklahoma City there. And they were running, Sam was riding a Harley, a street Harley. And Bill's sitting backwards on the back seat with parachutes, throwing them out to see how it felt. So they had done some pretty rudimentary testing early in the piece, and we had some ideas of what was going to happen. Because ain't no Harley bagger ever built that was going to go 190 mile an hour, but
that's right.
The first time we tested it was 190 mile an hour, and it was, yeah, we were surprised how soft it was.
And now we see them on every Top Fuel motorcycle, every Top Fuel Harley.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to have one.
You get guys like Larry McBride. He told me he will not run a bike without one. That's how much it helps.
Yeah, well, back when we were racing, yeah, he said, I ain't never doing it.
Yeah, right, I know, everybody, I'm telling you, everybody. So
I've been friends with Larry a long time.
You know, but you got that, you had this idea, you were ahead of the curve, you were met with resistance from so many.
Yeah.
Was that tough to overcome, or was it something that just didn't bother you back then?
It's in me anyway. I'm one of those people. If you say I can't do it, I'm going to do it more.
There you go.
That's how it is.
Well, thank you for bringing safety to this sport, because that was a very important thing.
There's several other things we've tried to do as well. You know, if you look at the front end of this motorcycle, you'll see it has a 50 mil Marzocchi, the largest motorcycle front end ever made for a street bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It has 14.5-inch Brembos, the biggest tire you can get. It's got the latest street. We use either or. We use a race slick or some races. We use a padded tire, but they've all got that SC1, the softest compound you can get for a World Superbike racing.
Wow.
So,
and what's your
look
top
at the
speed?
size of that, but what you got to understand is these things are 1,200 pounds.
Yes.
You know? And guys were coming here with 36 mil Sarianis on, but they're 1,200 pound motorcycle, and there's bumps as high as your knee out there.
That's right.
Not quite, but
And things change when you're going 240, don't they?
damn right. You know, you skip from one bump to the next.
Sure. Well, it's a great setup you got there.
Yeah, we've raced in places. I raced in New Zealand one time, and the bumps were so bad there that the guys standing at 1,000 feet said they could see a foot under both wheels at 1,000 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got to deal with that.
And you have no rear suspension at all in these motorcycles, right?
No, we have rear ride height. We measure ride height.
Oh, you do have ride height, okay.
Yeah, we measure it. So and last race in Sydney, it was 100 millimeters, 4 inches off the ground.
Wow.
Over a bump in the braking area.
I know I've heard Terry Kaiser has some wild ideas. He'd like to see you guys go to rear suspension. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I know Terry, and I'm with him. You know, it's just, have we got another 20 years to develop another idea? I don't know.
That's right. Well, I think that's one of the problems with the classes.
Yeah.
You guys are incredible, but there's just not enough of you.
Yeah.
There's so few men that are willing to do this across the world, not just across one country.
And the development is really tough when you're out there by yourself trying to fix stuff and trying to figure stuff out. It's different when there's 50 guys racing in the class. You figure stuff out quick.
Sure.
And that's something I've always said. American racing, in some ways, is simple, but damn, they go fast. You know?
Yeah.
And it's because they perfected a simple idea. If they ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure.
You know? Which we're not like that. We go, oh, that's not a very good idea. We could fix that. And then we're off into a never dead end somewhere for a couple of years. You know?
Got you. Very cool. Well, thanks so much. What's your goal this weekend? What would put a smile on your face? You come in 3 points shy of leader Chris Matheson.
Hey, you know what we're here for, right?
Well, normally I would jump and say championship, but I know to a lot of guys, personal best mean even more than championship. So if I told you you could get a 5-second time slip or a championship, which one you want?
It doesn't matter. Today's about winning the race and winning the championship. It ain't about going fast.
Very cool.
Record breakers don't win races, right?
I've heard that as well. Excellent. So we
And
know.
it's true. For a long time, we were out there trying to rotate the earth all the time, and we used to go fast, but we didn't win much. And then we learned that you have to slow down to win.
Sure.
And we learned to do enough to win, and we won a lot doing enough to win.
Love it. Any chance we're going to see you back over in the States anytime soon?
It's always possible, you know. I mean, life's pretty changeable. There's one commodity that fixes everything, or pretty much everything, apart from time. So,
Cubic dollars.
Money. Yeah,
yep.
that's the one.
That's what it takes.
Money comes, we can do anything.
Well, we certainly hope to see you, and we wish you best of luck today.
All right, well, thank you.
There you go, guys. Let's give it one more look at this amazing machine that we talked about. They're getting it ready. Here's the parachute again that we mentioned moments ago. It's so important. You see them on Top Fuel Harleys. You see them on every Top Fuel motorcycle. What's the packing process like here? Do you have to fold it a certain way? Or?
Yeah, pretty well folded into triangles, and we don't tuck the flap in. We leave the flap open, so they'll lock it straight away when it comes out.
And of course, the parachute is used in conjunction with some pretty serious brakes here that you see on the rear. We showed you the front brakes, everything you need to stop when you're going in excess of 240 miles an hour. Very important job to get this parachute packed and ready.
let's give you a close look at the process. And while we're at it, since Jay Upton got all of our brains going about outside the box ideas that may or may not work, I want to hear your idea for Top Fuel Motorcycle in the comments. What do you think these motorcycles need? As I said, Terry Kaiser had talked about an independent rear suspension and making these motorcycles significantly lighter, but you also have a proven formula that's safe. There's a fine line. It is like Jay said too, there's only so many men in the world that want to do this, that want to get involved in this wild and crazy sport that we love watching. There's only so much R&D time available. There's only so much money available to develop what is safe. What are your thoughts? What are your ideas? I know there's a big debate amongst some of the Top Fuel racers about going too light and then sacrificing durability and safety. But then you have a bunch of individuals who say, look at modern street bikes.
Okay, here we go. So explain to me what's going on.
Pull the spring pressure up, pull the pin out. Now the parachute, wind this back 9 times. The parachute is armed and ready to go.
Is it a little unnerving knowing you have such an important job?
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's something
That's a good
where
job.
it's not too complicated, but it has to be done correctly, right?
It does. It has to be done correctly, yeah. And I do this. I work on the top of the cylinder head, and I drive the transporter. So
You're a busy man.
I am a busy man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Well, we thank that gentleman for his hard work. We want to also thank Jay Upton for allowing us unparalleled access, inside access, to check out that very unique 3-valve cylinder head. Let us know your thoughts. Again, we're asking you in the comments, do you have any wild and crazy ideas that you think might work in Top Fuel Motorcycle? Jay Upton's parachute idea was wild and crazy till he went out and proved it worked. He's also proven that the one-piece body is very effective and potentially something that could increase safety for these racers, because at those speeds, these racers need every single trick they can get. Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to Cycle Drag on YouTube. Make sure you like CycleDrag.com on Facebook. There are plenty of videos on the Cycle Drag YouTube channel of Jay Upton Racing. Check it out, as well as Larry Spider-Man McBride, Dave Vantine, Sam Wills, Chris Hand, even Mitch Braun. They're all on there. Check them out on the Cycle Drag YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for watching.